Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, all of whom are loved and welcome in this space, and welcome to a brand new show called the Bibliotheque of Boba Fett, the only Book of Boba Fett discussion show hosted by the Imperial Senate Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Ashby, and joining me, as always, is my master assassin accomplice, Claire Stribling.
I'm a master assassin? That's awesome. Like, I tripped over my cat 5 times today, but I'm a master assassin now, so look at me moving up in the world. Proud of me.
Look, if, Fennec can get killed by that douchebag, we all have bad days.
It's true. Everybody's got to have a bad day. Everybody's going to be Toro Calicand every now and then.
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, Toro okay. I thought you just said Toro Calican. I was like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
No, you Toro Calicant. I hate myself. Please continue.
That's an insult. But yeah, we're back with brand new series, brand new discussion series. Boba Fett's back.
How cool yeah. Yeah.
It does cool. Still feel weird to say that. Like, we've had the, George being like, he died. We've had the EU being like, he had kids, he had slave 1 through 4. We have
a lot of slaves. A lot of slavery going on.
We had the sort of the Clone Wars stuff and all the built up canon mythology, and now we're back. We finally see the bad boy himself escape the Sarlacc and deal with new issues that are very intriguing and very exciting to watch on this brand new Disney Plus show. So, how excited were you when you first saw the Book of Boba Fett title card?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Stranger in a strange land. We're jumping right into it. It's strange. It's getting stranger, and I will say that it did not disappoint, because one thing that this episode was exponentially stranger than I expected it to be. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. I know there were a lot of people complaining about the slowness of it. I don't care, because literally they're sitting here like, hello, here's a little thread. Here's a little thread. Here's a little thread. Here's another little thread. If you pull, we're going to pull on these threads as we go, and the sweater's going to slowly unravel until the sweater becomes no more. I guess that's the climactic moment of the sweater fully unraveling in my weird metaphor, but it's so true. There's so many things that have been lined up, so many cards that can come into play. I love the Polynesian spa back to bath flashbacks. That title card just set up exactly how I felt this episode was, which was honestly a little strange, and I'm here for every minute. I love weird Star Wars. We got weird Star Wars. We got super, super weird Star Wars. And it just feels good. I almost feel like I've watched the episode 4 times, but I still am not, I know. But I'm still not entirely sure that this show exists yet. Like, I still haven't wrapped it. Like, my brain hasn't wrapped around the fact that we have a Boba Fett series and it's coming out now. And I've seen it 4 times. It just feels so crazy that this is actually happening and that I'm as enthusiastic about it as I am, because I'm little Miss Jango was a superior Fett over here. Now being like, okay, I will eat my words. I will ride this ride along with my king and my queen, my daimyo and my master assassin. So let's go. How did you feel, Charlie?
I loved it. I've been a Boba Fett fan since I was little, and like everyone went through that rough teenage phase where we're like, no, actually he's not that cool. Like, we've all been there. And I think what the show does very well is it combines both facts, which is that he is cool, but he also isn't.
Yeah, I know. He's so soft.
Like, what I really appreciate is, one, obviously, yeah, he's soft, but also he does,
soft boy.
He has a really fucking rough day.
Yeah.
Like, people forget how, obviously in the mythos of Boba Fett, people forget how clumsy he is in those films. Like, falling down, getting hit, and, landing on the Sarlacc pit. And you see it a lot here as well. Like, there's moments where you're like, oh, like, this is my day Typical.
Mondays, am I right?
Absolutely, it's the Garfield of Star Wars, and I think what's really cool is that we get to see a little bit more of that. And I think I was really excited to see more of that. But the thing that really got me going was straight off the bat, we got this really, really neat little glimpses into his sort of sense of self and his past. And what a better place to start the conversation than with
Flashbacks,
baby. Camino. It's funny how
Instant hook.
It's funny how we're like, Camino. It's good to see Camino in a Star Wars show. And like literally the last time we saw it was the last episode of what we watched.
Yeah.
Which is good. And I'm gonna say it, next year is the 20th anniversary of a certain film that has been much maligned, that we both love, and that is Attack of the Clones. And I am here for this Attack of the Clones reclaimant.
It's going to be the Renaissance, baby.
It's the Renaissance of our good film, Attack of the Clones. And we get a really cool moment. It was funny, actually, because I don't know if you noticed, but when the show opens, there was like a view through Jabba's palace. Did you notice anything up with that sort of section?
Did I notice anything up? Other than how weird and empty it feels and how weird it is still in my brain that we're going to pan through it to Bib Fortuna's throne. Bizarre. But did you catch something? Did you get a little Easter egg? Did Easter come early?
Well, could it be an Easter egg? I think all the shots were new apart from one. So the door, the opening carrot, the view where the door opens where Luke walks in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a shot from Return of the Jedi. It just seems a little out of kilter with the rest of the shots, like the color coding and the way it looks, like the film. I think that's definitely from Return of the Jedi, or if not, it's definitely a deleted scene. What was really cool is that the Camino shot is obviously new.
Yeah.
The Attack of the Clones shot was an alternate shot, though. Because
I know.
It's one thing putting that flashback scene, because that's cool as is. She's like, oh yeah, cool, like emotional, explanation of the story, giving us a bit more depth, and then we get an alternate shot with Daniel Logan. I'm like, but yeah, it's really cool just to see like Attack of the Clones being well represented in the story, because I was worried that it would be a focus on, the classic Boba Fett that we come to love. But of course, with Favreau and Filoni and Rodriguez at the helm, there's clearly a deep love for the character, and you can't really delve into that character as well as you could have without delving into the emotional turmoil and growth that comes with the Clone Wars and also Attack of the Clones. And I think what's really interesting and what I'm glad is that my theories came true with the show. It is not about a mafioso boss who is gritty. This is not the Godfather of the grandiose mafia don staring on at his kingdom, surveying it and treating everyone like that. This is a medieval king who is actually nice and is like, he's the
checking
father.
In on his vassals.
I can't remember who. I think it might have been at Keldor Jedi on Twitter said this, but it was my favorite phrase. He's the Oprah Winfrey of Tatooine. He's like, I don't give a shit. Take this.
Oh my god!
I just really appreciate his tiredness and not giving a fuck energy, especially when Fennec's like, yeah, he's not giving us. He's like, whatever. Next. That's me. That's my energy. I really liked it. I really like the fact that we're getting that, and we're going to delve a bit more into his perspective, because it's funny how I just feel like Boba Fett is pretty easy to figure out, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's cool.
Yeah. But I love it too, because he's a different kind of bounty hunter. The mold for every bounty hunter that we see is like overconfident. I'm going to take what's mine. I'm going to be cocky and I'm going to be a scoundrel. And Boba Fett, who was the number one bounty hunter in everyone's hearts for 40 years, is now sitting here like, soft boy, I want them to respect me. I don't want them to fear me, when any other bounty hunter we've ever met in that would be that guy. It's so cool because I've been watching a lot of Clone Wars today. I had Clone Wars on for all of the 8 hours I was at work today. So it's so funny. I saw Aura Singh episodes and Cad Bane episodes, and I saw Greedo, and I'm just sitting here like, yeah, Boba Fett is different. But the reason that he's different is because of these flashbacks that we're getting. He had a family. He had a connection. He had a mission. He had a home, and all of these things have been taken away. And I'm so excited that we're getting this story in a flashback and flash forward kind of format, because watching him be that benevolent king, ruler, Lord Fett on Tatooine, it's so cool to like go back and find out what made him different. What things that he went through in his life made him different from every other bounty hunter in the mold. And it's so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm loving it. And how did he get to in Mando be like, you know what? I'm not done. I'm going to do the right thing and help you get your kid back. How did we get to this point?
I have a theory about that, which will make you tell me off, which I'm very excited about. It's not a nice theory, but it's what I'm going with the story. And I'll take it a little bit further. Like, I don't think Boba Fett's ever been really evil. No. Ever. I think what him and Jango say, and I think Jango as well, it's true. They're doing it. The galaxy's a rough place. It's rigged for certain people, and they're doing a job.
Simple man trying to make their way in the universe.
There's a lot of bounties, and sometimes you gotta work with the government to track down a drug dealer. Sometimes you gotta do it, and they don't want you to blow him up. By the way, I thought it was hilarious when you see him do the first rocket on that guy.
Yes. And just the whole wall and person gone.
I see what Vader was saying. It's like,
no disintegrations, baby.
Fine, whatever.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because we look at Boba Fett in the comics, in the canon comics, in the new canon comics. Like, we just had this big War of the Bounty Hunters run. Like, he is that person that we had pictured in our minds, or that all of the Brobas like picture in their minds when they're thinking about it. Like, he was this guy who was cold and calculating and just kicking ass left and right. But it's funny how a Sarlacc pit can change a man. I don't know.
But I think it was always there in him as well, like, especially in the comics.
Definitely. Because with his dad.
Yeah, and he's so tired. My favorite part of the War of the Bounty Hunters, the first, I haven't really read all of it yet, but the first few issues, is that he's just tired. He's like, God damn it! Like, this is just please, can I just take this dude to Jabba's palace and get paid?
Get it over with.
And he's like, okay, I guess I have to pay my armor. I love it. It's like the average guy. He's just dealing with it. But yeah, we get really cool stuff. Let's go off to actually the benevolent medieval king Boba, as I like to call him. Just a really nice little introduction to his rule. Him introducing himself to the lords and the nobles of the land. I thought was really cool. Mm-hmm. It's funny again, like everyone's like, oh yeah, mafia, gangster, and I'm like, no, this is pure like medieval kingship, and I love it. Like, I'm a big dork for that shit. I just imagine him like you're literally on a throne, meeting his new stuff, like the new people of his land, the different boroughs and nobles, and you won't have everyone on board. You have to sort of, give them a few little shinies to make them feel better. And can we talk about the droid, please?
Which one? The drummer droid? Little drummer droid? Or are we talking about
Merry Christmas, everyone?
Parum-pa-pa-pum.
I'll have to do where
the torture droid.
The torture droid.
Yes, I don't remember. 8D8.
8D8.
That's right.
Something very particular about that I noticed immediately, and the glee on my face, if you could record it, it could solve electricity issues, world hunger. Matt Berry.
Yes, he did voice him.
For so long, we went to him Matt Berry in Star Wars, and it was worth every second.
Oh,
and
so good.
I just want to thank Jon Favreau. I think he wrote this episode, right? Just to clarify.
Yeah, he did.
I want to thank him for using words that only Matt Berry should say, like plateau. This is your plateau. I was like, oh, this is chef kiss. Absolutely great to see that. And again, yeah, it's nice to have like remnants of the old Jabba's palace, like just kicking around. The ones who didn't go on the barge that day.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
hey, wasn't Max? I was under the impression this whole time that Max Rebo was on the barge.
He was.
I was under the impression that Bib Fortuna was on the barge. So I'm just saying, people on the barge can get out.
Maybe they were making out.
It's canon. It's canon. We got Max Rebo, my one of my 2 cameos I was hoping for in this show. Max Rebo and Salacious. I'm 50% there. Okay? 50% there.
Oh, we should do a Salacious watch every week.
Just tweet out after every episode, like,
I'll make
Salacious this week, guys.
Next time.
Please make a graphic, because I literally, when we were doing the Jabba's Palace panning scenes, I was like, is he in the corner? Where is he? No Salacious this week. I rewatched it 4 times, still didn't find him. It's fine. He's gonna come home. He's gonna come home when he knows it's safe to come home.
I think he'll be alive, but I don't think he's gonna get hired again.
No, I don't think he's gonna get hired, because I don't think Boba liked him very much. However,
anyone liked him. like
Jabba liked him.
Jabba liked him, but Jabba's weird.
Jabba liked him. Yeah, we can agree on that at least. But yeah, no, Salacious watch. So all of you Imperial Senate listeners / viewers, however you're ingesting this media, please, if you see him, do your little NCIS zooming and enhancing. And if you find him even in the tiny little corner of his, just let me know. Let me know if I missed him, because I miss him.
There's a little duck. He's looking out.
We just see little ears sticking out from behind a thing. Like, there he is. And a little tuft of hair in the middle. Oh my God.
Beautiful. But yeah, to go back into what you were saying, like, we do actually see Mos Espa, which is cool.
Los Angeles.
Is this like an extra part of Mos Espa, or is it? I don't know. Was the outskirts?
I don't know. It's interesting, because I feel like maybe we saw the greater Mos Espa metropolitan area, or we got the greater Mos Espa area, and then maybe this is the metropolitan central area of Mos Espa. Maybe. I don't know, but it's interesting to see more of it. Mos Espa's been it's a possibility. It's been a while. Gentrify Mos Espa. It happens everywhere. It really does.
They knocked it down to build the tower. Storm's coming.
To build this little casino bar.
We're building a casino.
Oh, but before we get to Mos Espa, Los Angeles, can we talk a little bit about my absolute favorite new character that we saw in this episode?
Yeah, sure.
The Major Domo for the mayor. Can we talk about this guy? I have been thinking about this guy. No, that first of all, he seems like a character straight out of some sort of farce that would be on stage. He feels very theater to me, and that's home. So I'm just like, oh, you can see that there are secrets, that there are thoughts, and there are secrets, and there are plans behind his little eyes. And that character is going to be so important going forward. I have a feeling that he is really going to be, and that mayor plot line, him sowing the seeds of like, oh, well, he's not going to like that, but I'll be polite and I'm going to leave and you should be worried, but okay. All right. Goodbye. I will give him your greetings. I love him.
It's funny you said that. It's like a partial character, because to me, it seemed like someone from Twitter.
It seemed like someone specific or someone big.
Just people on Twitter in general. Like,
It's very much like, I'm going to be a bit of a dick with a smile on my face.
You're wrong. No, yeah, 100%. Like, I thought that was a really cool character. I really like it when we get, I don't know, it's a weird thing to say, but because we never really got to see some actors who wore like Twilight makeup get to really act before. So when you see a character like that appear,
we get 4 of them.
Oh, we'll get onto that in a second, because we have quite the quote to relay to the audience.
Yeah, we do, and it is I believe co-signed by us as well. So, yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's really cool just to see Twi'leks, act a little bit more. And Rodian, I thought the creature design, the makeup is so much better this time around.
No, it's so good. And I'm sorry, but Rodian with little cuts in his outfit so you can see his little Rodian hips and his little Rodian skinny legs, his little calves. I don't care. I know he's awful. He's bad. He sounded the alarm, but I'm just saying he had these skinny little legs. I just wanted somebody to give him a sandwich. Like, he's so cute. I loved it. I'm not joking. When I saw the Rodian calves for the first time, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, his little legs. We never seen Rodian legs before. So, I know something I didn't know I wanted.
But... RodianFeet.com. rate my Rodian feet.
Rate my Rodian feet. Oh dear. Yeah, you'll probably find me there.
Yeah, and then we have the casino scene, which is really cool. Nice little collection of weird and crazy characters. And it's good to see that Boba's technique is working in some regard with some of the people. It's nice to see that sort of, divide between both Fennec and Boba and them trying to sort of come together to make it the best sort of way forward. But yeah, we see these rather interesting Twi'lek slaves, I'm assuming.
I think so, probably.
One male, one female. And I just
very hot.
Obviously, if you get, unless you're an idiot, Nikki is with us at the minute. We're singing our love to him, and he hopefully will be with us in the future. But for now, we just want to relay a comment. His official comment of this episode of the Book of Boba Fett, which is, speaking of full frontal, when those two Twi'lek staff members came to the helmets to take the helmets, I've never explicitly thought about getting fucked by two aliens at once, but Robert Rodriguez helped that happen for me this morning. Hell, get Madame Garza in there too. Get that party going. Am I right? And you know what? Absolutely. I agree 100%, Nikki.
100% right.
I didn't think going in that the show would be the one to wake up bisexuals across the land, but here we are,
Here we are.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad it did. I really am.
It's a beautiful, beautiful moment. And we get a really interesting scene, obviously. Like you said, the Major Domo threatens the new leader in charge, Boba, and is a little smarmy shit about it. And I think what's really interesting is that I'm guessing the mayor is the Ithorian from the trailer.
I think so. Somebody had shared an image of the Ithorian from the trailer, and the captions had his line or whatever as mayor.
Oh, well,
so there you go. So we got the mayor. He's the Ithorian. But yeah, it's interesting.
I'm really excited about this because it's all about, I think what's interesting about this is the intentions of someone who has to take charge. And sometimes you have to give up bits. You can't always get 100% right. You have to sacrifice elements. And I'm really interested to see how that goes for someone like Boba Fett, who really doesn't want to take no for an answer.
Yeah. But so here's the thing. I know that there's been a little bit of controversy on the word choice of daimyo as being Boba Fett's title. And somebody with a Jabba the Hutt profile picture, who is a Japanese translator and a student of Japanese culture. I don't remember. They studied Japanese history or something like that. Sorry, I don't remember what your Twitter handle was, but there was a thread and somebody shared that was found it very interesting that they used the term daimyo. Daimyo in Japanese culture, for those of you who are not as familiar, which I wasn't, so I'm glad that I've learned, the daimyo was a ruler over a certain vassal state or a couple of vassal states. However, a daimyo had to be loyal to the shogun above them. So my guess, based on this education of the daimyo shogun vassal state kind of relationship, is that Boba doesn't realize that he may be a daimyo, but the mayor's the shogun. And it's going to cause some power struggle-y related things but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe that's
really interesting. Or maybe it's someone else who we know.
Maybe it is. That sounds like you have an
Clarke
idea.
shows up?
I miss her. I miss her so much.
You were like,
she's been chilling in the comics lately. That tends to mean you're going to show up eventually.
It could
please
be.
Show up, please.
Or someone. I'm just trying to think of sort of people that would. Cat Bane. You got a 5-year gap. You know, who would take over that spot? Another Hutt, maybe. Rata the Hutt.
Another Hutt. Rata. Seriously though, we never got the story of what happened to Rata when he grows up. Does he?
No.
Like he didn't get killed in Clone Wars. He didn't get. We just are kind of like we forget about Rata. You know, he's chilling out there somewhere.
Rata, the college years.
Honestly, the next animated series on Disney Plus, please give it to me.
No, we're pitching it here.
National Lampoon, Intergalactic Lampoon, Rata, it's college.
Chevy Chase plays Jabba the Hutt.
Yes, I want it. Sign me up.
But yeah, I thought it was really cool that we get to see that sort of dynamic display and like Boba like trying to work out the situation. And I think what's interesting about that is that it will tie into something we see a lot in this episode. And of course, we get the attack from the mayor's men, who I'm assuming are the mayor's men.
That was my guess, but I guess who knows? I guess we can assume that, but never know. Could be another buddy is what I just said. Another somebody who's trying to take power.
And there's two things that stood out for me in this sequence, which is actually three things. One is that Ming-Na Wen's amazing, which we already know.
Love her.
The other two things, though, are one, Boba has a kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like he understands mortality now. Like he feels very understanding of like, oh shit, like I'm gonna peace out. Take me back to my bacta tank, please.
Yeah, he's really hurting. Like the effects of the Sarlacc and whatever he goes through in the desert with the sand people, those have really lasting effects clearly on him that he hasn't recovered from. Like he's got to take his little back to Polynesian spa baths every day, you know, and he got the crap kicked out of him and the zip zapped out of him from those electro blades, and dang, yeah.
I'm wondering, like is it purely physical like toll, because we see him tackle on stormtroopers and stuff, so like maybe it might be like a mental toll
Could be
as well. And I think that's definitely maybe where we're heading with this character, because I'm really interested to see where we get to see a bit more of his mindset, because he's been through a lot of trauma and that does have an effect on you. And the other thing I wanted to point out in that sequence was the Gamorrean guards, who I adore. There's two little like, we won't work for you. If I spare your life, would you work for me? Yeah,
sure, dude.
Sure. And then they come out and they're like proper like, you know, they come out, they're true to the word, they're loyal. Mm-hmm. That's all I want in a person, is someone who's loyal and wearing hardly anything at all.
You love it. Also, did you see the people on Twitter who were like, ooh, I never thought I'd be hot for a Gamorrean, but here I am. And I'm like, no, we need to unpack this a little bit, people. This is not right.
I thought the same, to be honest with you. Everyone was looking at that new trailer, that new emo goth girl on the bike, and I'm like, who gives a shit about her? Like, let's look at the Gamorrean.
Gamorreans, baby. I like them thick and juicy.
There's two of them, baby.
I like a piece of that pork chop.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That pork tenderloin. I hate myself. That was terrible.
You're hamming it up.
Hey, I like that. That was good. There we go. I brought it back.
Did we?
We tried to anyway.
We try, and that's all that matters. We're a bit rusty out of this live videos. Not even live video, this video stuff. So we do apologize if it's not to your liking.
Deal with it. Just kidding.
And then Boba gets hurt, goes back to the bacta tank, and let's go back to the bacta and delve a bit more into the flashback sequences, which I really do enjoy. I love the fact that we get to see the Sarlacc pit finally, how gross it is. think
Oh,
I've had a
gross.
few experiences like that.
We're
TMI.
not going to unpack that. We're not going to unpack that one. I don't want to know. There are some things I don't need to know, Charlie. But you know what I didn't know? I'm sorry. I don't know which tangent you want to go on.
Oh yeah, sure. You go first.
I'd always assumed that Boba Fett's helmet is airtight, but it's not? Question mark? Because he needed the fumes from the trooper. He needed the oxygen from the trooper's pack.
Well,
Is that what I should go to assume?
Maybe it runs out.
Oh yeah, maybe he was just.
Or it filters out. Maybe.
Maybe. But it was interesting that he had to plug in the. I thought that was an interesting move. I don't know. What do I know? I wonder how long he was down there. How long was he down there to run out of air if it was airtight?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he had to get all charred up and juicy.
Because I saw some people like, oh yeah, he was like that, the way he looked, because of the years since we last saw him. I don't think that's the case. I think
it's stomach acid.
Yeah.
Digestive juices.
It's the feeling you get when you have heartburn. That's what happened to Boba Fett.
But just put it all over your body, all over your skin. Oh, gross.
Really cool. And I saw something like, wow, where did that stormtrooper get? I'm like, there's like 19 years of Imperial occupation. I'm sure at some point there's a stormtrooper.
It's slowly digested over 1,000 years. I'm sure one of them fell in at some point. We know that Darth Vader went to Tatooine on a couple different occasions. He probably didn't go alone. So.
Yeah, and we see him with some stormtroopers as well. I'm sure he yeeted a few of them in there.
One of those dudes was clumsy. That's,
very lost in the desert.
Very lost in the desert, yeah.
Really cool to see the way that Boba dealt with the Sarlacc, the fire. But what was funny was that I didn't realize this until today. Someone put a side by side. If you put the footage of Pan Oswalt's speech from Parks and Rec about Star Wars Episode 7, it's exactly the same. You have twin suns and Tatooine set. It pans down. You see the wreckage in the Sarlacc pit, and a hand glove comes out of the ground. It's exactly the same. And someone's put it side by side, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was really cool.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I'll have to show you later.
You please do. Please send it to me.
It's so it's spot on, like 100% like accurate in terms of like the audio to visual demonstration.
Amazing.
Really cool. I just wanted to see him wear the classic armor again.
Yeah.
I know some people are like, well, he's a little bit bigger. I'm like, yeah, because it's a different actor.
Yeah.
And age and
he's 61 years old. Which also, can we talk about he's 61 years old and he's kicking it. He's doing great.
When is like 63, I think, or 4.
I think she's in her 50s. Is she in her 50s or 60? How old is she? Whatever she is, it doesn't matter because she's badass.
My point is my point is that there's 2 person of color leads in their 60s.
Which how many times does that happen? Not very often. Pretty badass. Also, both of them are perfect because they're both pretty badass. Like a human being.
I'm 58.
She's 58?
Yeah.
How? She's amazing. She could kick my butt. She could absolutely kick my butt. Hopefully she will
one day.
Oh, a girl can dream, can't she? She really can.
Like, after, if you see me get kicked off a building by Ming-Na Wen, thank her for me.
Yeah, it was the way that you were meant to go. Truly.
Yeah, I deserved it. I don't know what I did, but I deserved it.
Yeah, you probably did.
Okay. Defend my honor.
Yeah, but he crawls out of the Sarlacc pit. How cool was that Sarlacc pit? Pretty cool.
Pretty juicy boy. Very moist.
Cool. Very moist. So moist. As opposed to the rest of this episode, which was not very moist.
Very unmoist, yeah. Digging for moist.
Digging for moist, yes.
We've all been there. We get a really cool flashback with Boba being picked up. Well, first of all, gets beating the shit out of a bunch of Jawas. Because, like, first of all, fuck them, little shits. They steal money as well later on.
Awful.
And they probably, like, smash his head in.
I know, they didn't have to do that. Like, he was half dead on the sand anyway. Like, come on now. He needed some weird bug juice to wake him up, which you know is desperate.
What do you think it tastes like?
I didn't like how green it was.
People are like, ugh, that's disgusting. I would never do that. I'm like, you're saying you in the desert you wouldn't take any form of liquid?
Yeah, I probably
would die.
It's funny though, because like, you know what it looked like to me? I don't know if they have these in the UK, but like, do you guys have Juicy Drop Pops? It's a lollipop, and then there's a little piece with a little squeezy nub on the end, and you can squeeze this flavored Juicy Drop Pop.
But it's one of those
like flavored goo, like sweet goo. That's what it looked like. You were flavoring like they were like squeezing the maggot that was filled with like sour apple goo into Boba Fett's mouth.
That sounds worse to me. I'd take the worm over that.
You take the worm over the sour apple goo?
Yeah.
Either way, it'd wake me up if you squeeze a maggot in my mouth. I feel like I'd wake up no matter how dehydrated I am. Avocado. I feel like that's kind of weirder.
Oh yeah.
I'm hot. I'm in the desert. You're giving me a creamy avocado puree. Strange. Very strange. All of it. Anyway, Tuskens are cool though, right?
Tuskens are great. Like, I love their culture and I love how we get to it. Cause I really love how like Jon Favreau and that seem to really care and like love the Tusken culture and like the way we're delving into that. Like we've got the stuff again from the clones, the dogs,
the lizard puppers. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have seen and had people tell me the name of those creatures 19 times, but I think that my brain has refused to accept them for their actual species name because they're just lizard puppers.
That's what they're Tusken doggies.
They're Tusken puppers. They're good puppers.
I like the different. I can't even fucking say the word. The different look for this tribe with the black robes, which of course we know Boba has, so he must obviously ingratiate himself in this tribe at some point.
That's right. Yeah, and you see spoilers.
Beginning of it, yeah.
Yeah. Why am I saying spoilers? If you're watching us break down this episode, you've probably already watched it. But yeah, he does have those robes at the beginning of our first time seeing him. Interesting.
I think that leads in to the whole situation. So obviously we get a good glimpse for the episode of a child Tusken who is very intuitive, beats the shit out of Boba for no reason, which I thought was funny. It's just a little kid being like, look at me, I'm part of the tribe.
He's trying so hard. So hard.
And, he takes the Rhodians out for, having a look. See, like, digging up some like, water pockets. And
is this moisture farming? Is doing this on a large scale what moisture farming is? I always thought it was getting moisture from like underneath the soil or in the air.
No, we see moisture farming in the episode. You see the little fountain that they're farming it and it comes out because we see where moisture farmers.
Because that's what Owen and Beru do. So is that like how it worked? Because I always thought those silos and stuff were part of the technology, but is it just like digging in the soil? Could this be like? I think. This is like your victory garden scale moisture farming, your backyard garden.
I think they're like creatures that like have a certain amount of water in them, and then the Tuskens use them like it's like a natural way of living in the desert. Whereas what humans do is they of course make like an oil field and they farm the water,
every last drop
out of the water, and you do see that. I think. I don't know if they're the same. I feel like it might be the same people who attacked the village in The Mandalorian.
I'm not sure because they're totally a speeder biker gang with leather jackets, with Sons of Anarchy style leather jacket vest things, which is very on the nose, but I still like it a lot.
Seeing water, graffitiing, disgusting.
Yeah, but I think that's what our hot brunette biker girl queen is going to be. One of those.
Oh yeah, of course, you're right. Yeah,
I feel like she's going to be part of it. And will she be friend or foe to Boba and Fennec? Who knows? But it's interesting.
Be interesting that's in the future though. It like
Yeah.
ties into like the repercussions of the past. Here's the thing I'm gonna say, okay? Obviously we see this little moment, which is of course when they're digging, the little Rhodian gets killed by a wild Harryhausen creature, which I love. Like I absolutely love this. Did you used to
Amazing.
watch those films?
Yeah. Yeah.
Pure Jason and the energy. I was like, oh, this is so cool. It also felt, I don't know if it is the creature, but it felt like the little creature from the Millennium Falcon game.
Oh, it could be like one of the Dejaric pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go take a closer look at the Dejaric table next time I watch.
Like I don't know.
Very much so. It could be.
But I thought it was really cool. I like seeing more different creatures in Tatooine and the stop motion-esque look. I feel like people were like,
Loved it.
It's not realistic. And I'm like, well, yeah, but also shut the fuck up.
But I love to like I loved it, and I love my creatures and I love my weird, and as I said in the beginning of this episode, like I was totally satisfied with my weird, and this was one big part of it. The moment where the Rhodian with his little suction cuppy end fingers, which Rhodian hands are the best. I love them every time I get to see them. But watching him like scrape away all the sand and see the claw of the creature and see the skin like move, the rubbery skin when he touched it. Oh my God, my heart stopped beating. I was like, what is it?
You became a
my
Tusken
God.
Raider.
Yeah, I totally did. I'm adopting the culture in that moment. I've become a person of the desert. I really have. Oh my God. It was just like a like heart-stopping moment for me because it was weird orange creature hands and just amazing skin. Like I felt like Diego Luna in that moment. I was literally like, I want to touch the creature. Like I just want to know its texture because if you watch it, it moves the way he touches it. I'm like, anyway, yeah. So very cool. I loved that creature and I loved that fight scene. I absolutely adored how Boba earned his respect with that kid and with the tribe by protecting that kid who's trying so hard. And the moment when they get back to the tribe and that kid's kind of like telling the story, and in Tusken everyone's like patting him on the back like he's being, I killed it. Like, and everyone's like, good job, kid.
It's funny because some of them I feel like did believe it. Like,
I know.
Holy shit, what? And the dad's like,
oh yeah, no. Here you go, dude.
I see what you
Cheers to saving my kid or whatever.
Really love that sequence.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting is, first of all, what I always love is that Boba Fett is a bit like Doctor Who in the sense of he'll get involved as much as he can. Like he's very stern and, but as soon as he sees a child in danger, he's like, God damn it. He's flashed back to when he was a kid on his own.
Yeah.
He has
and
to
he was
help
scared
out.
and trying to be all that his dad wanted, being the tough guy that his dad wanted him to be.
And it's like he's thrown back there and he's like, I'm going to help this kid out. I don't give a crap. Really
Which is the difference between him and Anakin, who killed the men, the women, and the children too. And you see Boba Fett, this guy who's had 40 years of rumored tough guy, take no shit badassery, spare the child. When Anakin, our hero who's redeemed at the end, does not. It's interesting.
He doesn't sort of like moan or complain about the experience he has about being wrapped up, and because he knows it's part of the way of those people, and like they have to do what they have to do to survive. And I did appreciate that too. Like he just gets on with it, he doesn't complain. And I think what's really interesting about this sequence is which is my theory, which I feel like you're gonna hit me with a stick, like gaffy stick with. There's 5 years between this and Mando season 1, right?
The flashback scenes in Mando season 1.
When he meet Fennec.
Roughly, yes.
5 years. I think that we're gonna see the rest of the flashbacks about him ingratiating with the tribe and finding something that Bo's always wanted to find, which is pretty much a family, right?
I don't like the way you're setting this up, but yeah.
And he becomes he finally gets what he wants, like a family. He doesn't have to rely on the wider galaxy. He doesn't have to deal with he's dealing with life. He's been reborn, and he's like, I've been given another chance. I get to explore, and I think that what will happen is those Tuskens will be killed, and I think it's going to be one of those heartbreaking moments where Boba's like, I thought I could have this family, but there is injustice in this world that is getting involved. And you see him with the gaffy stick and the cloak. And he's like, I didn't want to get involved, but I need to go get my armor back because I need to take charge of Tatooine. And I think, do you know what I think will recontextualize some of this stuff? We're going to find out that the people responsible are directly from one person. Can you guess who that one person is?
Are we going to say Bib, or are we going to say said mayor?
Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna.
And I think
that's why he's the reluctant vassal, like state ruler.
And that's why when you rewatch that sequence, when he walks in, he's like pissed. He's like, "You killed my family, bitch." I think we're going to see that, and I think that's part of the reason why he wants to have a new, better. It's not about him taking control in terms of power for himself. It's in terms of there are people out there that are being manipulated by people that are cruel and power hungry, and I can do something to help them.
In terms of justice.
Yeah, because he has a pure sense of justice, and I think that's interesting, and I really want to see that.
I love it.
Because then it ties into the whole sequence. It's like he's not just killing Bib in a bloodthirsty gain for power. It's one, he needs that throne to sort of legitimize his control and the change he wants to bring about, and also fuck him.
Yeah, and also it explains why he wants to do things so differently. It would explain things. It would give extra motivation, because that's something that has been in the back of my mind through this entire premiere is what happened to you to make you want to be different, to make you want to make this world better, to make sure that you are not above these other people, but you are here to make sure that these people are protected and looked after. What happened to you to make you this way, good or bad? There's that story that's going to be told, and it's very interesting. I like your theory. It does make me sad though, because that little Tusken kid needs to be okay, even though he's kind of a little shit. But I'm really excited to see even more of the humanization of the Tusken people, and to see Boba. I just want to see him happy. I think
we will. We're going to see him happy before the pain.
Before the sad.
And I think that's it.
And
what else that could recontextualize is maybe that's one of the core reasons. We know one of the reasons as well. Obviously, it's part of his DNA, but one of the other reasons for when he sees Din looking so distraught, he's like, "We're gonna get that baby back. I don't give a shit. The child will be safe because I couldn't keep the other child safe, but I will do this time." And
gotta keep family together. Come on.
Whew.
I love it. And I can't wait to also explore that and his own issues with losing his father, and then potentially losing a new family. And then to watch him, hopefully not lose, but to watch him and his bond with Fennec grow, because that was something in Mando season 2, when Fennec and Boba had at some point teamed up. I'm sitting here going, I get why Fennec is tight with him, because she saved his life. But they seem tighter. They seem tighter than you would expect. There are life debts. And it's more than a life debt. There's a tight, seemingly emotional bond. I don't mean romantic, but I just mean cohabitation kind of bond between the two of them. And I hope we explore more of that, because obviously she would take a... Yeah, she did. Can we? I want her to show up. I want Omega to be, 1, to be okay, and to 2,
That'd be
I
a
want
good
him
teaser season 2. Like if it's all that family.
talking about how they know each other. They know his sister. Oh,
There is another.
amazing. But yeah,
Just find my sister.
yeah. But I'm excited. So for everybody who's on Twitter going like, this was a super slow episode, look at all of the shit that we just fucking unpacked in this episode. Like, there's so many things to think about and to explore just with this premiere, and we have 6 more episodes. We have there's so much there's so many little threads that are going to unravel that sweater, and just because we haven't started pulling at strings yet doesn't mean that next week we're not going to start pulling at strings. And I feel like they're going to be tugged at pretty dang hard.
And I think what's really interesting about this, and I wrote about this a little bit and put to friends, my immediate response was, oh, okay, that was an interesting episode. And it wasn't disappointment, but like, oh, okay, like, that's interesting. And then the more I thought about it, the more I loved it, because I think what has happened is that we have been brainwashed in a respect in terms of content and storytelling recently of years, and also like the way we view things, to the point where for some reason we expect there to be a thing in a premiere.
There has to be a big cameo or a big twist or a big
cameo,
boom.
big twist.
Yeah.
It has to be like Baby Yoda. And I think
it can't just be good storytelling.
And I think what's good about this is that, yeah, like you said, it's good storytelling. So, and it breaks down that. It breaks down the brainwashing sort of system in your head, because now going forward you will be shocked by the things that does happen, the big cameos and stuff. You will be shocked in future episodes, and also you don't need that. That's not storytelling. And there was a minimal amount of dialogue in this episode, which I really liked as well, because it's visual storytelling. You don't have to have words necessarily.
Show me, don't tell me is sometimes the better way to do it.
Exactly. And I think I just really appreciated the episode, and I really loved it, and I think was really interesting, and maybe something we should talk about more is the idea of just not having those expectations. And it is interesting sometimes seeing people who, there's some people like, oh, well, that's not what I expected. Well, obviously don't go in with your own expectations in terms of like what you want to see, because it's dangerous.
It's a recipe to get disappointed. You're just setting yourself up to not enjoy it. Why not come in with an open mind and be surprised by what you're given?
And people are like, oh, this isn't really new. We knew about this. I'm like, well, yeah, because you read up leaks or you read up information about the story in advance. You're going to know most of it. Like
and we knew
looking through
Boba climbed out of the Sarlacc pit. Spoiler alert. Yeah, he showed up in Mando, so at some point he had to get out of there somehow.
Yeah, it's like flicking through a book and going, oh, I knew Dumbledore was going to die, so it wasn't even that big of a deal. Like, you're doing, whole thing.
Just be along for the ride. Stories, that's what storytelling is for, to entertain you.
I thought it was a really good episode. I really like the new orchestral score. Got a new
the Book of Boba Fett theme when he's crawling out of the pit and the theme plays for the first time.
The theme
I was just really cool. Let's go. Oh, I'm so pumped up. It's like the first time hearing the Mando theme for the first time. I was like, we're in it. We're in a new Star Wars now. That's a theme. Let's go, baby. Boba has his own theme music.
Because Ludwig does the theme of the episode, but the music itself was done by someone else. Where is the... This is so cool. This is me being really prepared. Joseph Shirley does the soundtrack for the series.
Come on.
And I thought
welcome to the Star Wars family, Joseph. I
thought it was really cool. I thought it fit the tone really well. I love the Western vibes, of course.
Got to.
And, overall, let's just dive in there. Overall thoughts and scores, because I really did appreciate this episode. Claire, do you want to go first?
Sure. I really liked this episode. I feel like, I'm not gonna complain about what we got because I enjoyed it. I was along for the ride. I enjoyed the stories. I enjoyed the weirdness because that is my particular brand of what I want. The weirder Star Wars, the better. And it was so weird. And Max Rebo and Twi'lek gambling casino restaurant, cool place. Assassins and creatures in the desert and Tusken raiders and biker gangs with leather vests. And it's just like, it was a whole bunch of strangeness. And it was every little new piece of information that I got. I'm excited about the world that we now live in, this post Hut or Fortuna cartel Tatooine. Like, it's so interesting to see how the world is going to change. And I cannot wait to see how Boba brings change or not to Tatooine and to the surrounding gangs and the politics of the area. I think it's going to be a super, super interesting series, and it's going to be chock full of interesting ruffians. And what this episode did for me was tell a story of how he loses his armor and how he gets out of the Sarlacc and into the next stage of his life. And it really did that in an interesting way for me. Like, obviously, it didn't tell us everything, but it's the first damn episode, people. It's coming. And I really enjoyed it. So there's a lot of room for, like, bigger storytelling moments, but that doesn't take away from the greatness of this episode itself. Really enjoyed it. Had a great time. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And I cannot wait to see what new weirdness and what new intrigue is in store in these upcoming weeks. So I really, really liked it. I can't wait.
Yeah, I really like. I think the score is pretty decent. I will go up a little bit. I'm going to give it an 8.5 because I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a really good introduction to the show. Any gripe I would have had would be, it's interesting. Gripe is personable because you could say, oh, I wish it was a little bit longer. But it's like reading a chapter. If you make it a bit longer, does it ruin the overall chapter of the story?
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things. I would give it, 8.5 because I really appreciated the design work, the way it looked, the storytelling, the ideas that it springs from my mind. It's always, like, if a story is telling me, like, it sparks my imagination, it's always a good sign. And also, I really liked the debate I had in my head about Max Rebo being alive or not, because I'm not sure if he is alive.
What?
I think this is a Gallagher brother situation. I think this is the Noel Gallagher of the Rebo band. This is his brother.
Oh, this is Mike Rebo?
This is Mike Rebo.
This is Matt Rebo? No. This is Max. It's Max.
Max and Mike.
Yeah, or Max and Matt. I think I like Max and Matt better. It's okay, Match Rebo.
It's a match made in heaven, Rebo.
I hate it.
I love it. I love the idea. He's got like a brother who, like, the band split up. The famous Rebo brothers. Like the Everly
and they
brothers.
Grabbed one of the modal nodes and made a spin-off band. Oh my god.
It's Matt and Wings.
It's Matt and Wings.
Because they're playing the famous band song as well. Like the modal nodes split up. They get to play the famous song, but they're gonna put a little twist on it,
Yeah, their twist on it, and their twist on it was really great. He was shredding on that whatever that instrument is called. That space mandolin. It was rad.
I'm sure it's Max Rebo, but I also like the idea of there being there is another. But yeah, that's all we've got time for this week. Just before we go, though, I want to let you know that if you have any questions or thoughts for us, ask us in the comments below on the YouTubes or on Twitter if you listen to the podcast, and we will get back to you next week and we'll answer those questions. And so should we plug the stuffs?
Let's plug them.
Well, it's time for our favourite part of the episode, plugging in the Polynesian spa. I worked hard on that one.
That
So
was
yeah,
good.
don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Imp Senate Pod and on Instagram at Imperial Senate Pod. You can support the show by buying our merchandise and becoming a patron at patreon.com/the Imperial Senate Podcast. All links for everything will be found in the description below, as well as on our Ko-fi on Twitter.
Woo-hoo.
Claire, where can people find you though?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at cstribs. You can catch me every Wednesday evening with my reaction videos for the Book of Boba Fett, of course, here on the Imperial Senate Podcast YouTube channel. Oh, there's my tweetster. There's my tweetster. You can catch me there. You can catch me most Tuesday nights streaming Star Wars Battlefront 2 or some other games. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of feel like throwing something random in the mix next week, so
We should do a
keep your eyes
Quiplash.
peeled. We should do Quiplash. We need to do Quiplash. It's been too long. I just did it
Also,
with my
why not?
family for Thanksgiving, and it was amazing. It was so much fun.
We're doing the Star Wars Quiplash session.
Yes. But yeah, you can also catch me on Broaxium. So go follow Broaxium on Twitter at Broaxium on Twitter and Instagram. Go subscribe to Broaxium on YouTube. That's where most of our content is. You can catch me reviewing Dr. Aphra. With each new Aphra issue, I'll be on the Wednesday morning quick shot releases at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And then you can also catch me on Sunday nights live on Broaxium's YouTube channel, Shooting the Poodoo, with my cast of characters and amazing bro hosts. And it's always a fun, weird, raucous, usually inebriated time. And it's just a lot of fun talking about all things in the geek world. And go follow Nikki on Twitter at Niquitious.
Yeah, follow Niquitious.
Naquicious.
And on Instagram, it's at
Nictifer.
And don't forget his other show, One and Done Film Club, which he does with our good friend Auden and our good friend Reed, in which they go through different franchises and they pick one film, they debate which film they're going to do, and they debate it, pick which one they're going to do, and do a film commentary. It's a really good show. They did Star Wars prequel trilogy, the original trilogy.
They've done so many. They did Indiana Jones. They did
Pirates recently.
Pirates. Yeah, they've done so many. And they have done a show since the prequels. Like they've done show that's an holographic. But they have a lot of cool stuff. But they got some cool stuff. Go follow Nikki. You'll like Nikki. He has funny tweets.
And also, before we wrap up with Nikki, he is the co-host on a Rewatch Between Worlds on Octo Radio with our good friend Auden, where they go through Star Wars Rebels individually each episode. They go through and break down some of that cool stuff. And they go through every single thing. Not only do they do Rebels, but they also go through Rebels Recon, which is a very, very fun snapshot into the past. You know, the classic Pablo the coffee cup memories for all you.
Chopper getting up to mayhem.
It's crazy how that's nearly like 10 years old, right?
Don't say that. I don't like that.
We're recording this on the 30th. Well, the 31st for me, but technically it's the 30th. Because it's past midnight. But it's nearly 2022, which means it's 2 years till 10 years.
Why did you say that? I feel so old. Oh my God. I am wilting. I'm weathering away.
It'd be 10 years since Lucasfilm was bought by Disney in like a day. 2 days.
That's so weird. So weird. Thanks for that, Charlie. What?
Should we stare into the distance and then fade out? And like,
we would do that if you hadn't plugged your stuff yet, but you have not.
Oh yeah, sure. No, you can see it. Me plugging my stuff is basically like fading out.
You shut up. That's not true.
You can find me on Twitter at CMWASHBY and on Instagram at CharlieMWAshby. You can also support me on Patreon and Ko-fi, the links of which are available on my Twitter bio through my Linktree URL. I have the Charlie Ashby Network, which does shows such as Ponder Vision, the Charlie Ashby Show, and all the Patreon funds go directly towards me creating content there. So please do check that out. And if you want any commissions, Photoshop work, or anything like that, editing, copy editing, then I'm your man.
He is your man,
Stan.
because anytime you Photoshop anything for me, it always surprises and delights me. It's always good. It is always, like, when you do something serious, it's always very good. But when you do something fucking weird,
specialty.
It's your specialty. So if you have anything weird, you need Photoshop, just hit up Charlie.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Also, if you need something
anything.
really classy, go hit up Charlie too, because all of our graphics and stuff and all of our backgrounds, all our cool shit is Charlie. Charlie does all of it, and it's pretty badass. I can't lie. It's all really badass. It's true. No lies. No lies detected here. And go listen to Ponder Vision if you haven't.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to have an episode out in the new year. We had a little break because of Christmas, but we did a Spider-Man episode, which is one of my favorites I've done.
I can't wait.
It's really good. We had Alden and Rosie Knight from a plethora of things. Eisner Award-winning Rosie Knight came on our show to discuss how incredible is that. A lot of fun, especially if you've seen that film. No spoilers, but we had a lot to talk about.
I bet you did.
Before we go, obviously subscribe to us on YouTube, and please do listen to the podcast. We'll be back in the new year with new episodes. We're taking a little break because of personal stuff, but we will be back soon. And don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes or any other podcast platform, especially Spotify and the like. But until then, that's all we got for now. Bye.
Peace.